biggest problem, I wouldn't say necessarily problem, but let's say opportunity that NGOs are facing throughout the entire year, if not daily, is fundraising. And that's the gasoline that I was referring to in the airplane story. If you don't have enough of it, you are very limited to how far you can go. And the bigger you grow, the more responsibility you will have on board. And that responsibility is not just the activities for your kids, let's say, in the case of WAVED, but only financial responsibilities in terms of salaries that you have to pay. So that's a constant headache that you will automatically face. And you need to come up with a strategy, a fundraising strategy, which works not only towards the end of the year, when companies are budgeting for the next year or for the next 3 years, but this is something that needs to be continuous throughout the entire year. You need a good pipeline. You always need to talk to people. You always need to be in touch, not just with the people that or companies that you've already talked to, but you also need to approach new companies, someone who you've never talked to. You can also reach out to people outside of Panama, but make sure that there's somehow a connection between those people abroad and what you're doing in Panama. And this is something that has to be worked on, I wouldn't say daily, but weekly. And for this, you can also involve media, because the media will help you to multiply your mission across various channels. And speaking of channels, you also need to figure out how this communication of what you need is being addressed to your audience. Are you sending out emails? Then you have to look at what's the subject title of that email, which will attract someone to open your email. How much are you writing in this email? So it's lots of details, and I personally can benefit from the fundraising aspect because I've worked in commercials before, in commercial part, in selling. And you need to sell your project. You need to know how to sell your project and how people react to what you're trying to sell. NGOs, or let's say education, is not a priority for most people. You also have to understand this. It's probably important to you, and it's important to me for sure, and WAVED is very important to me, but I cannot expect everyone to care the same way about education as we do. So you need to find out, what do people really care about if you want them to support your project? What are the triggers or the bits which will make them be interested in your project? So there's lots of ways on how to approach potential clients, but besides focusing on potential clients, you also have to make sure that you keep the ones that you already have happy, because those are the ones who will then potentially renew for the next years, and you need to keep them engaged, and you need to show them what you're doing and how you use your money and how you report financially. Are you doing it per trimester or only at the end of the year? Lots of details, but I guess this part of the fundraising is, and this is also why I keep it to just this one problem or opportunity that you were asking for, because this is the one which is most present, at least in our daily operation.